Hey there, this is Horner, and this is how to do the cart and the brick lab. So one of the things that you have to start out with is you do your collision. So the collision's already happened, and now they want me to analyze it. So I'm going to analyze it, and to do that, between the marks, between these long vertical marks you'll see right here, is 1 centimeter. So I've got to recognize that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start, and it really doesn't matter where you start. I'm going to start at this one, and I'm going to move over to where I see a dot on the top that will line up with one of the lines down on the bottom, and it looks like this one does pretty well. So I'm going to go these two spaces. When I go from here to here, when I go from the very beginning over to here, that's 1 centimeter. So now I've got 1, 2, 3 centimeters. So I know that I've gone 3 centimeters, so I'm going to type that in down here, 3 centimeters. And I did that in a total time of, now each one of these is 1/60th of a second. So 1/60th of a second. So I'm going to start at this dot, and I'm going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5/60ths of a second. So I'm going to do divided by 5/60 seconds. The question that you need to answer now is how fast is it moving at that point? So I've got to get out a calculator, and I'm going to start by doing 5 divided by 60, and that is 0.083. So I'm going to do 3 divided by 0.083, and I get a speed of 36.1 centimeters per second, and that's equal to 0.361 meters per second. I've got to do the same thing on this side. So on this side, I notice that I can start right here, and I'm going to start with this dot. That's my 0 dot, and then let's just go ahead and go over again the same amount. We're going to do 3 centimeters. And I notice that I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dots. So this time I've got 9/60ths. It's because I've gone 9 dots and each one is 1/60th. I know that's 9/60ths. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to do 3 centimeters, and then I'm going to divide that by 9/60 seconds, and then I'm going to figure out what that is. So this is equal to, I'm going to do 9 divided by 60 first, 9 divided by 60, and that gives me 0.15. So 3 divided by 0.15 gives me 20. So now I have 20 centimeters per second, which is equal to 0.2 meters per second. So now that I have both of these, I can go ahead and do the rest of the lab. So I know my initial speed, I know my final speed, and I know my initial mass is 2. I know my final mass is going to be 2 plus 1. So you're going to need to use the equation m1 v1 plus m2 v2 is equal to m1 plus m2 times the final speed of both together. This little guy right here is actually 0 because the second cart is not moving at that point. And that is the end, and that is how you go through and take data for this lab.